Hello everyone and welcome back to ScorpioTech. In this video we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the AULA F68 transparent mechanical keyboard. This is a fully assembled and hot swappable mech keyboard that's on sale for about $120 or £97. It's available in transparent green, purple, black and white, which is the variant I'll be showcasing in this video. Before we jump into the review, let's open this box and see what's included. First thing I've got to say though is that this keyboard is extremely well protected in this packaging, so it's very unlikely to become damaged during shipping. Aside from that, you get your standard paperwork showcasing the keyboard's features and functions, a plastic dust cover, the keyboard itself which was nicely wrapped up, and a couple of boxes hidden underneath, inside of which you get a pretty nice light grey USB Type-C to USB Type-A coiled cable, which I wasn't expecting at all, as well as a little keyboard brush, keycap puller and a small cloth. And last but most certainly not least, we have the F68 keyboard itself. The transparent design really makes this keyboard stand out from the crowd. You're able to see the switches, uniquely designed keycaps, as well as the inner workings such as the PCB and foam padding. I've always found transparent tech very cool, and I know a lot of other people do as well, but from my experience that would generally mean a lower quality product, but thankfully that is absolutely not the case with the AULA F68. So just to recap, inside the box you of course get the keyboard, coiled cable, brush, keycap and switch puller, as well as a cloth, paperwork and one of the strangest additions I've ever seen, which was a perfume pad to make the box smell nice. And I'm definitely giving bonus points for that because so many of these boxes smell disgusting. Moving swiftly on, let's take a closer look at this keyboard. In the top right you've got a lovely little knob which out of the box will adjust your volume, but long pressing it will change to game mode, which allows you to cycle through up to 20 different lighting effects. This keyboard comes fitted with, wait for it, LEOBOG Icesoul transparent tactile switches. I think it's needless to say that LEOBOG is not a great name, but thankfully the switches don't follow suit. These switches are pre-lubed with an actuation force of about 30 grams force, and they've also got a pre-travel time of 1.7mm and a total travel time of 3.6mm. There will of course be a sound test coming up a little bit later in this video, but I can tell you now I already love these switches. Not only do they sound thocky and feel great to use, but thanks to their transparency and dedicated LED slots, it allows for excellent RGB shine through if you're into that kind of thing. Honestly, so far the only real negative that I can find is that the board has quite a lot of flex when pressing down hard, but honestly this isn't noticeable during general usage. As for connectivity options, the F68 covers all bases. Out of the box you can connect with the USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable, Bluetooth 5.0 or wireless 2.4 GHz. In addition to this, you can also swap between iOS, Windows and Android connectivity with the handy switch on the back of the keyboard. Removing the magnetic cover reveals the included USB dongle, which you use in order to connect via the 2.4 GHz option. As I mentioned earlier, these are the LEOBOG Icesoul tactile switches, and they do have a fair bit of movement, but overall I am quite impressed with these switches for the price. But as I said, this is a hot swappable board, so if you're wanting to modify it, then you can swap these out to your heart's content thanks to 3 and 5 pin support. Alright, we can do the typing sound test now, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Obviously, you can make your own mind up whether you like the sound or not, but personally I absolutely love it, and it genuinely is the best sounding keyboard that I currently own. Turning on the keyboard for the first time via the power button in the top left begins a showcase of colour, and there are plenty of options and effects for you to fit your theme or aesthetic. Thanks to the transparent nature of this keyboard, the light is allowed to shine through with great vibrancy and brightness. Although personally I'm not that into the crazy RGB stuff anymore, I think the keyboard looks fantastic with and without the lighting active. All of the keyboard functions and shortcuts are laid out in the user manual, which was fairly clear to understand. For example, here you can see that pressing FN and Q will activate 2.4 GHz wireless mode, FN and E will activate Bluetooth function 1, FN and Y will activate wired mode, and so on. As well as this, the knob in the top right has multiple functions such as volume control and the various lighting effects, as you'll see shortly. There are a few functions that you're going to want to know in order to get the most out of this keyboard's lighting effects. FN and tab will let you cycle through a spectrum of colours as well as a rainbow effect. FN and the left and right arrow keys will adjust the speed of the current effect, right being faster and left being slower, and FN and the up and down arrow keys will adjust the brightness of the lighting on the keyboard. Lastly, long pressing down on the knob will activate what they call game mode for some reason, which lets you cycle through 20 different lighting effects. Once in game mode, pressing the knob will change between effects, whilst twisting the knob will adjust the brightness. It's also worth noting that you can change the colour of the lighting effects with FN and tab, so you can have any of these effects in your desired colour. I need to go and get a drink so you can just sit there and look at the pretty colours and effects for a bit. Oh yeah, and have some music as well, I guess. BRB. Are you seriously still there? I'm impressed. But on a serious note, this keyboard by far exceeded my expectations. It looks cool, it sounds great, and it has some really excellent features such as the wide array of connectivity options, customization options when it comes to colours and RGB, and of course the lovely knob. I'd have absolutely no issues at all recommending this keyboard, especially if you're looking for something a bit quirky for your desk. If you're interested in learning more about this keyboard, then you can check out the links in the description, or if you have any questions, be sure to fire them to me down in the comments. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, a like would be much appreciated, and if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing for more keyboard and tech reviews. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.